Okay, so we're going deep today.
Deep dive.
Yeah, deep dive on something I know a lot of you have been asking about,
Yeah.
Tesla Autopilot. And, more importantly, the safety of autopilot.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to look at some things that might surprise you. We're going to be looking at some recent investigations and some data.
Some fascinating stuff.
Yeah, specifically the Wall Street Journal. They did a big
Yeah,
investigation.
huge one. They looked at over 200 crashes.
Over 200 crashes.
Involving autopilot.
That's a lot.
Yeah, that's a significant sample size. You can't ignore that. And we're also going to be looking at some data from the NHTSA.
Okay, so the government data.
Exactly.
Oh.
The National Highway Traffic Safety Administration.
Right.
So we've got a lot to unpack.
Yeah. There's been a lot of talk about autopilot, good and bad.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
We're not here to hype it up or tear it down.
Nope.
We're here for the facts.
Just trying to give people the information so they can make up their own minds.
Exactly. Let's start with the Wall Street Journal investigation. 200 crashes. That's a lot.
It is. And what's interesting is they really focused on how Tesla's doing things a little differently.
Oh, how so?
Well, they're relying solely on cameras for their autopilot system.
Just cameras.
Just cameras. Unlike other manufacturers who are using a combination of cameras, radar, and LiDAR.
Okay, so that's a big difference.
It's a big difference, and the journal is suggesting this could be a big vulnerability for Tesla.
In what way?
Well, think about it. Cameras, they can be tricked by things like bad weather, like fog or heavy rain.
Oh, all right.
Low light conditions. And radar and LiDAR, they use different technology, so they can kind of cut through that. They can see in a different way.
So that's a pretty serious concern.
Yeah. And the journal, they pointed to a few cases, really disturbing ones.
Like what?
Where Teslas on autopilot just didn't detect obstacles.
Like what?
Like a disabled semi-truck. Just ran right into it.
Oh, wow.
That's a pretty terrifying thought, right?
Yeah, that's scary. And it shows, that there could be real consequences here.
Absolutely.
This is not, theoretical. This is actually happening.
Right. But the question is, how widespread is it?
Right.
And are these just isolated incidents, or is there a pattern?
Right. So that brings us to the NHTSA data.
Exactly. Let's see what the government data tells us.
Okay.
Well, the NHTSA has linked autopilot to hundreds of collisions. Hundreds. And unfortunately, some of them were fatal.
Wow. So it's not just the Wall Street Journal then?
No, it's not. And what's interesting is that both sources, both the journal and the NHTSA, they both seem to be suggesting that there are some real limitations with systems that rely solely on cameras for driver assistance.
Okay. But Tesla has said that their AI, their artificial intelligence, is so advanced that it can actually learn to see better than any sensor.
That's what they're saying. And it's a big part of their strategy,
Right.
betting on AI.
So are they wrong?
Well, I mean, the data we have right now seems to suggest otherwise. And here's where it gets even trickier.
Okay.
The NHTSA, in their data,
Yeah.
they found some gaps in Tesla's own data.
Wait, what do you mean?
Well, Tesla's telemetry data,
Yeah.
it doesn't always give a complete picture
Of what?
of when and how autopilot is engaged during these accidents.
So Tesla's own data is incomplete.
That's what the NHTSA is saying.
That's kind of shocking, honestly. What does that mean for us, for people who are buying cars or thinking about these features? I mean, if even Tesla doesn't have the full picture, how can we make informed decisions?
That's a really good question, and it's a big concern. We're seeing the auto industry change so rapidly. So many companies are adopting all sorts of driver assist technologies, and everyone's debating, what's the best approach.
Right.
And Tesla's really putting all their chips in on cameras,
Yeah.
while other companies are being a bit more cautious.
Okay. So what does this all mean for someone who's thinking about getting a Tesla or any car with these advanced features, really?
Well, here's the bottom line. Driver assist systems, they're not foolproof.
Right.
They still require your full attention, and they can't handle every situation perfectly, so don't rely on them completely. Be aware of their limitations.
That's a good point.
And as these technologies continue to evolve, we need to be having some serious conversations about safety, about regulation, and, even about the ethics of autonomous vehicles.
Yeah, that's something to think about for sure.
It really is.
Yeah.
These are big questions we need to be asking ourselves as a society.
This deep dive has been really eye-opening.
Yeah, a lot to consider.
There's a lot to consider, yeah. Be sure to stay tuned as we continue to explore this topic and many other related topics in future deep dives.
We'll see you next time.
See you then.